Hi, One Hour Smart Home here, and today we're going to show you how to install an Ecobee thermostat. This is the Ecobee3 Lite smart thermostat, and it's going to let you remotely control your HVAC system. Now, one thing that you need to know about the Ecobee smart thermostat before you get started installing it is that it does require a common wire for installation or a common wire adapter like this. So I don't have a common wire with my existing thermostat. We're going to show you how to check for that, and we're going to show you how to install a common wire adapter if you don't have a common wire. Now, if you have a common wire, no big deal. It's very easy to install the Ecobee thermostat, so you won't have any issues there. Now, the very first thing that you need to do to get started installing the Ecobee thermostat is go to your HVAC system and turn it off, so we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so we're here at the HVAC system, and you can see on the side of the HVAC system, we have a switch to turn off this particular HVAC system. Now, if you don't have a switch on the side of the unit, sometimes it's going to be on the wall located next to the unit. What I recommend that you do is turn your thermostat all the way up to heat or cool so that it's running. And then when it's running, go ahead and flip the switch. And when the HVAC system turns off, you're going to know that that switch controlled your system. And if you don't have a switch on the side of the unit, the other option is to go down to your electrical panel and turn off the power at the circuit breaker to your furnace or air conditioner or HVAC system. So go ahead and do that now. Make sure that you've got everything off, and then we're going to go back to the existing thermostat, check for a common wire, and start the installation process. All right, now we've got the power off, so it's time to remove the existing thermostat. So a lot of times you're just going to have tabs on the bottom of these or the sides of the existing thermostat. Go ahead and press those in. Every thermostat comes off a little bit differently. This one you just press in a little tab and pull forward, and then I have access to the wiring. Now you can see down here that we have different letters for each of the wires. And what we're looking for here is this C wire. And we can see that we don't have a C wire, also known as a common wire, which means that we're going to need that common wire adapter that comes with the Ecobee thermostat, and that we're going to need to install this inside of our HVAC system at the control board. So the other wires we have here are the R wire, the G wire, the Y wire, and the W wire. The R wire is the power wire, and that's this red wire coming in here. The G wire, that is the fan control wire, and that is the green wire coming in here. Then we've got the Y wire over here, and the Y wire activates the air conditioning compressor. And our Y wire is this blue wire. Sometimes it's going to be a yellow wire, and sometimes it may be an entirely different color. But how you know what it does is by the designation on the existing thermostat, and Y is for the air conditioning compressor. The W wire is the call for heat, or the furnace in our case with our HVAC system, and that is this white wire here. So what I recommend that you do now is go ahead and take a picture of your existing wiring. It's really important. It's going to make it easier for you to install the new Ecobee thermostat if you've got a picture to refer back to, and save your existing thermostat. That way, if you have any problems, you can always go ahead and reinstall your existing thermostat and get your system back online. So we know that we need this C wire because we don't have one. That means that we're going to need to go to our HVAC system, and now we're going to install this common wire adapter. Now, pause for one moment. Before you get started working on your HVAC control board, I want you to take a picture of the inside where the wires are wired to the control board, to the terminals. This can be very helpful if you have any issues so that you don't forget what your existing wiring looked like, or if you need to restore it to the original configuration. All right, so we opened up our HVAC system, and you're going to need to take the front cover off, which we did. Then you're going to need to find the control board. So this is the control board here, and you're going to find that because the thermostat wiring is going to be wired up to that control board. And you can see that similar wiring that we had at the thermostat that now goes to this control board. And how this matches up with the thermostat is that down here you're going to see a label for each one of these terminals. We have the Y terminal, which is our air conditioning terminal, the G terminal, which is our fan terminal, the R terminal, which is our power terminal, the C terminal, which is our common terminal, and the W terminal, which is our heat terminal. Now, we've got the same 4 wires here. We have this white one, this red one, the green one, and blue one that were all up at the thermostat. But now there's a little bit of a difference because there are 2 wires here. We have this extra yellow wire here and this extra blue wire here. Well, that's because these 2 wires are used to send the signal to the air conditioner compressor at the control board. So we've got these connected from the control board up to our air conditioner compressor that is outside on top of the house or behind the house. So that's what these extra 2 wires are for typically. Now, if you have a heat pump, your wiring is going to be different. But if you have a fairly standard HVAC system with a furnace and an air conditioner, it's going to match fairly closely to what we have here. And you may have other wires that are connected for accessories like a humidifier or dehumidifier. We don't have that, but some of you will have extra wires. Now what we need to do is install the Ecobee common wire adapter, which we've got here. And you can see on the common wire adapter from Ecobee, each one of these wires is labeled with the terminal that it goes on. Y, W, G, C, and R. So what we're going to do is loosen these and then secure the wires into each one of these terminals. Now, what's important to note is that the wires that you want to remove that will then go in the bottom of the Ecobee common wire adapter, which we've got here with the terminals down at the bottom, are the wires that are all coming from the thermostat in one bundle. So we have this 4-wire bundle coming through in the thermostat wiring, and this goes all the way back to the thermostat. And typically you're going to be able to trace this out of your HVAC system, and it will go up into a wall or into a conduit and then to your thermostat. So make sure that the wires you're disconnecting all come from one bundle that is coming from the thermostat. Now these other 2 wires that we have, this C wire and this larger blue wire, they're going to need to stay connected because those are for our air conditioner compressor. So they will remain on those terminals while we install the new common wire adapter and put the wires coming from the thermostat into the bottom of the common wire adapter. So let's go ahead and remove the wires, and we're going to plug them into this common wire adapter, and we're going to wire up the common wire adapter. Now we've got our 4 wires loose here, and we're going to plug them into the appropriate terminals on the common wire adapter. So we've got all the wires installed on the adapter, the white wire, W wire in W, the blue wire, the Y wire in the Y terminal, the G wire, the G terminal, and the R wire or red wire in the R terminal. Now we've got the wires here to connect to the circuit board, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We connect the W wire to the W terminal on the control board. We then take our C wire, which is the common wire, and we connect it to the C terminal on the control board, which already has this existing yellow wire also that goes up to our air conditioning compressor. Now we have the C wire connected and the existing yellow wire that was connected to the C terminal. If we had more wires, we'd also want to leave those connected as well. Now we take our R wire and we connect it to the R wire on the control board. Now we take our G wire and connect it to the G terminal on the control board. Now we're down to our last connection, and we have our existing wire on the Y terminal, which is going to remain, and we're going to connect our Y wire from the adapter into the control board as well. Now we've got all the wires installed and the adapter installed also. So we want to make sure that we've got all these terminals tight, and we're going to put the cover back on our HVAC system, and then we're going to go back to the thermostat and get that installed. Now, once again, make sure that you've got a picture of your existing wiring, and we're going to remove the screws that hold the wires in place here on the existing thermostat. All right, we've got our wires removed, and now we're just going to remove the thermostat from the wall by removing the screws that hold it in place. Now we're ready to install the new Ecobee thermostat. So the Ecobee comes with this base plate, which is designed to cover up the existing wall so that if you have no paint there, it will cover those spots. So you can see it does an okay job in our case, and then you slide this over and you're going to secure it to the wall. Now, I have another thermostat base plate that will cover this better, and there are other options on Amazon that are third-party options that can cover larger holes. So I'm going to take that larger base plate and I'm going to use it in this case. But most of you will use that Ecobee base plate with the Ecobee thermostat. Now, the other option is that you could just paint over where the existing thermostat is. But many people will be able to use this existing base plate with the Ecobee adapter, but that's not the case for us. So we're going to use a different base plate so that we can cover up this existing unpainted area on the wall. So I'm just going to slide my base plate over, and then I'm going to install the Ecobee plate over it as well. And you can see at the top of the plate, it says Ecobee. You want to make sure the letters are right side up, and then you're going to go ahead and secure this to the wall. So let's get one screw in there, and we will then secure it. So we get it aligned, and we've got that paint area covered up. So let's go ahead and screw this in. Now we're ready to install the thermostat wiring, and it's important to note there are two ways that you can wire this up. If your existing thermostat wiring bundle had a wire connected to the C terminal on your existing thermostat, then it's going to be really simple to wire these up. You just go ahead and refer back to that picture of the wiring of your existing thermostat, and you just match up each wire with the designated terminal. So C would go to C, the W wire would go to the W1 wire, the R wire would go to the RC wire, the G wire would go to the G wire, and the Y1 wire would go to the Y1 terminal, or the Y terminal would go to the Y1 terminal. So you just match them all up. Now, if you didn't have a common wire, this is the second way that you wire it up. And you see this extra terminal here, that is called the PEK. That's the power extender kit. And it's important that when you have a power extender kit like we do, where we installed it, also known as a common wire kit, that you separate out the wire that you had designated as the Y wire, which is our blue wire here, and the G wire, which is our green wire here. So I've got these two wires separate. And that's because with the power extender kit, you're going to wire these up to different terminals than they were originally intended for. So the Y wire, this blue wire, we're going to install that in the PEK kit, the power extender kit terminal. So we go ahead and install that there. Now the G terminal, which used to be the fan terminal, but is now connected to that power extender kit, we're going to take that G terminal and we're going to install it in the C terminal over here. So now we're going to take that and we just go ahead and install it here. And now we've got those two wires connected. Now for the rest of the wires, you're just going to go ahead and mash those up with the terminal designations on your old thermostat. So we're going to take our R wire and we're just going to go ahead and put it in the RC terminal over here. And we've got this white wire and we're going to go ahead and put it in the W1 terminal. Now, if you wonder why there is a W1 and W2 and a Y1 and Y2, that's for two-stage heating and cooling systems. So W1 is single stage heat and W2 is second stage heat, and Y1 is single stage cooling and Y2 is double stage cooling. OB is for heat pump, G is for fan, the R terminals are for power, and the C wire is a common wire, and the PEK is that power extender kit. So if you want to learn more about thermostat wiring, we've got links to other videos below that explain that more in depth. Now we've got everything wired up here, we're ready to go ahead and install the Ecobee thermostat on top of this. Now we take our Ecobee thermostat and we just get it aligned with the base plate, and then we're going to push it to install until it snaps in place. So we've got the thermostat installed, and now we can go restore the power to the HVAC system. So if you turn it off at the HVAC system, go turn that back on. And if you turned it off at the circuit breakers, go turn the circuit breakers back on. And we're going to power up the Ecobee thermostat here. Now the thermostat is just powering up. Now, if your thermostat didn't power up, make sure that you have the wiring correct for that PEK terminal and the C terminal. That's probably one of the most common mistakes that people have when they wire up an Ecobee thermostat. Now it says, "Hi there. We will guide you through the setup process. Let's get started." So this entire area here where you can see it outlined, that is a touch screen. So we're going to go ahead and click Let's Get Started. Now the thermostat displays the detected terminals, and this is correct. RC, C, W1, and PEK, so we click yes. Do you prefer Fahrenheit or Celsius? We prefer Fahrenheit, so we click next. What kind of heating do you have in your home? We have a furnace, so we go ahead and click next. It says, how do you want your fan to be controlled, and then gives an explanation below. We're going to go ahead and just say we're going to control the fan by the thermostat because it says it's more energy efficient. Now it asks us to name our Ecobee. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down. So choose whatever name you want, and because you can use voice commands with this, go ahead and choose something that is not the same as other voice commands you already have. So I'm going to go ahead and click downstairs and click next. Now it asks us to connect to the Wi-Fi network, so I'm going to click on the second option and select Wi-Fi network, and then click next. Now scroll through to find the appropriate network and make a selection and click next. Now enter your password for your Wi-Fi network. Now our Ecobee is connected, we're going to go ahead and click next. It says, what is the current mode of your HVAC system? It's kind of cool here today, so we're going to put it in heat and click next. It asks us what our ideal temperature is during the winter, and it has a suggestion there. We're just going to go ahead and scroll down, and I'm going to put it at 67. Now I click next. It says, what is your ideal temperature during the summer? And I'm going to scroll this one down because 78 is a little bit hot, and we'll put this at 75. Then I click next. It asks us our country of residence, and we can scroll here, but we are in the United States, so I click next. Now it asks us to select our time zone, and I do not live in New York, so I'm going to choose a different location. Let's go ahead and click Chicago and click next. Now it asks for a registration code that you're going to use to set up the Ecobee thermostat on the app. So I can't show you this, but we're going to download the Ecobee app, create a username and password, and log in so that I can enter this registration code that pops up here on my phone. We created a username and password and logged on to the Ecobee app. All we need to do now is click Create Home. Now we enter our address and click Save. Now we're all set setting up the app. We just click Got It. Now we click down here to add a device. Now we select Thermostat. Our device is already installed, so we click Yes, it's installed. Now we enter the registration code. Now our Ecobee3 Lite thermostat has been added to our account, and we can now control it from the app. Just go ahead and click Finish on the device here. It now confirms our registration, and we click OK. Now you can either use the app or you can use the thermostat itself to change the temperature. So let's go ahead, we hold down and slide up, and we can change the temperature to, let's say, 74 here. Now the temperature will also change on the app, or you can change it remotely. And you can change the temperature by sliding it up or down on the app as well, and it will be reflected on the device as soon as it communicates with it. So you can see that it takes a moment to update, but you can remotely control your Ecobee3 Lite thermostat from your phone. Now, if you want to learn more about how to use the Ecobee3 Lite, go ahead and look in the links below for a tutorial we are working on or how to connect this device to Alexa. Thank you for watching this video. Please give us that thumbs up, subscribe, and click any of the links below if you want to support us. Thank you.